Hey everyone, what I'd like to do today is talk about this book, The Games of a Lifetime by Julian Jazz Rignall. And I'm sure those of you from the UK who are around my age will be aware of who Jazz is. Now, if you're watching this video, it's safe to assume you like video games, you play video games, probably watch a lot of people playing video games as well. And you probably read about video games every day on your phone, tablet, laptop, computer, etc. And I do that myself, but I must admit it's just not the same as reading about video games in a magazine or in a nice book like this. I mean, I read a lot of gaming news, and quite frequently there's pop-ups everywhere, there's ads in the way, and the articles are quite short, etc. Back in the day, we had a very different experience. There was no phones, no tablets, no computers that were, there was no articles being published in the 80s and early 90s about video games. We had video game magazines. Now, I'm in my mid 40s now. I've traveled around the world, I've backpacked a lot, I've moved house a few times, but during all of that, I could not part with my video game magazines. I did not sell them, I did not throw them out. I've been very fortunate enough to salvage a lot of the video game magazines that I bought as a kid. And, I've got magazines such as CNVG, Mean Machines, which then became Mean Machine Sega, Nintendo Magazine System. And I wasn't really dedicated to one, particular company's line of magazines. I bought magazines about lots of different consoles that I owned, and the general ones that talked about lots of different systems. Now, the reason I'm talking about all of that is in many of those magazines, Jazz Rignall was a writer. He was one of the prominent writers there, and there was lots of great video game writers at that time, but Jazz was certainly one of the most prominent ones. I'm sure he was on television a few times as well. So when he announced that he was writing this book, I was very, very excited, because this is a love letter to video games over the last 4 or 5 decades. And I mean, just look at this. This is a very high quality book. Very high quality. It's so nice. Now, I've not finished the book. It's 420 pages long. I've been reading a few pages at night before I go to bed. And I'm just skipping through this just to show you how nice it is, because, there's a lot of information in each page, but there's a lot of images here as well. It's a really nice experience, and it retails at £30 here in the UK or $40 in North America. So it's a very, very high quality book. That's something I need to stress. We've got a little bookmark there, which I've not used yet, but I will be utilizing it soon. I really should. So this book is published by Bitmap Books. And when you buy it, it almost feels like you just got a Christmas present or something. It's packaged incredibly well. It's wrapped up like a birthday present or a Christmas present, and it's just a nice presentation. They've done a fantastic job. I was concerned about that, actually. I've never bought such a big hardcover book being delivered online. I've normally bought it in a shop, so I was really impressed by the way it was all packaged up. So if I jump online, you'll see that this is the website for it, and I'll hide myself for a second. You can see there, Games of a Lifetime, £30, £29.99. It's $40 in North America, and equivalent price around the world. They do ship worldwide. Now, unfortunately, timing wise for me, very unfortunate, they appear to be out of stock because this is so popular. So right now they're asking people to be notified when it's available, etc. It should hopefully be in stock very soon. I encourage you to put your name down. Now, it is worth noting, you cannot buy this in PDF format only. You have to buy the hardback book, but when you buy the hardback book, you do get the PDF version. And I personally have no issue with this. It's nice to have the PDF version, but I'm making a point of not actually using it. I want to read this book, at least the first time, in paper form. I want to read it as a book because I think it's a big part of the experience. Now, like I said, Julian Jazz Rignall was a prominent games writer back in the day. He won a big video game competition. You can see there, the 1983 UK Video Arcade Game Championship. He won that in 1983. He then became a writer in CNVG, and then he went on to work in Zap 64, Mean Machines, etc. Now, he then moved to America and had a really successful career. You can see he was part of IGN's expansion, and he worked for a lot of big top companies, even worked with Walmart at one point as well. And yeah, he's had an amazing career. But the reason why I'm still aware of Jazz, one is he was a big part of my childhood. You know, he wrote in a lot of my favorite magazines. He was a very funny writer, a very knowledgeable writer. But more recently, I've kind of reconnected with him in a way because he's on Twitter or X, and he's writing about video games all the time. And if you're on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it at this point, I do encourage you to follow him because he posts so many amazing posts about, you know, old video game consoles, old video games, and he talks about his experience in the industry, etc. He's just a very fun read. So I do encourage you to follow him on that. I know it's not for everyone. I know, you know, a lot of people don't want to buy books about video games. I do think there's a lot of value in it, and I must admit this is a very high quality book. It really is, and it's one that I can recommend. And I know for some of you, you might think, "Oh, £30 a lot," but you know, there's a lot of video game magazines out there that cost, you know, £6 or £7, and this has got so much content in it. It's incredible. I'll jump back to the website just for a second because I want to point out that the website's got some information about the book. You can see 420 pages, high quality lithographic print. And this is the list of all the games there. And I'm sure there's a lot of games that you're aware of. There's a lot of games that you're not aware of. And that's kind of what I'm looking forward to finding out when I finish reading the book, because there's clearly a lot of games, in this book, which I share his love for. There's a lot of games in here which I grew up with, games that I loved playing, but I'm going to use this as a way to find out about other fantastic video games that I missed. So yeah, Sensi Soccer, F-Zero, Pilot Wings. So yeah, there's just it's just a fantastic book. So I'm obviously not going to go through the whole book page by page, but if you're on a lookout for a gift for someone perhaps who wants to, you know, read about video games, I think this is a good gift. But I also think certainly if you love retro games as well, and you love the history of video games and video game consoles, then this is a book that I can highly recommend. Check it out, guys. Be sure to, you know, stick your email address down there to be notified of when it's back in stock. But this was my first experience of buying a book from Bitmap Books, and I must admit I was incredibly impressed. I thought the presentation, the packaging and all that was excellent. But the book itself here is high quality. It really is. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you've enjoyed having a quick look at this book and finding out more about it. If you've enjoyed the video, thumbs up, subscribe, all the good stuff. As always, please do post a comment below. And until next time, take care.